Today we're going to share with you a gentle therapeutic practice that will help to strengthen your abdominal core and also strengthen your arms. In terms of yoga props that you'll need, you'll want to have a single blanket and a single block, and we're going to get started in a seated position. So take the blanket and fold it in half so it has a little bit more thickness to it. Sit down on top and come into a simple cross-leg position where your right shin is crossed in front of your left shin. Sit right on the front edge of the blanket so that you have sort of a forward tilt or an anterior tilt to your pelvis. Tap into your best possible posture with your shoulder blades hugging down the back of your body and your chest light and open. And feel free to either close your eyes or lock your eyes onto something stationary. Both of the hands come to rest on the belly. And in this moment, let's simply start to notice the breath. So just acknowledging as you take your next inhale. And as you take your next exhale. And allowing yourself to breathe naturally and deeply. And start to transition towards what's called belly breathing. So as you inhale, gently breathing into your belly and allowing your belly to expand like a balloon filling with air. And then as you exhale, release the breath out of the belly and allow your abdomen to soften. So as you inhale, your belly gently stretches out away from you. And as you exhale, let your belly relax. Inhale, let your belly stretch out away from your body, filling up. And then one more time, exhale, let your belly relax. And then we're going to modify that so we have a little bit of engagement on that next exhale. So inhaling into the belly. And then exhale and gently draw the belly back towards your spine. So it feels like it's giving your spine a little bit of a hug. Inhaling into the belly, letting it stretch and expand. And then not real aggressively, exhale, just hugging the belly in towards the spine. And this should feel like a pretty natural action. Not like you're having to overly tense or grip to accomplish that hugging as you exhale. Let's do this a few more times. Let it be a soft wave-like action of breath flowing in and out. An undulation of expansion and contraction. Taking in one more belly breath in the same way. And allowing yourself to breathe naturally for a moment. Let your hands settle onto your lap. We're getting ready to do a different type of pranayama. That's a breath practice. That's known as Kapalabhati. But being that we're doing a gentle and beginner-friendly practice, we want to really scale that down so that we basically just do the building blocks of the breath. When you do Kapalabhati pranayama, you should know that this is a powerful breathing practice to help build abdominal tone, increase your sense of connection with these muscles, so connecting the mind with the body. Oftentimes we become so out of touch with this part of us that we don't exactly know how to fire it or utilize these muscles. So this is a wonderful breath to help you build that connection. It's also wonderful for your digestive system in terms of helping to purify and just light a fire for a nice, strong, healthy, functioning digestive system. When you do Kapalabhati pranayama, you want to emphasize your exhalations. So So we're going to be exhaling dynamically and drawing the lower abdominals in and up towards the spine. And then our inhales will come naturally and passively. So you don't have to put a whole lot of emphasis on them, but you will be inhaling after each exhale. No hyperventilating for this breath. You should know that it's really all about abdominal control. So we're trying to manipulate the abdominal muscles, particularly the lower ones. So if at any point you feel the pulsing that comes with this breath in your chest or your heart area, know that you're not practicing it in the way that it's designed to be practiced. Keep that energy movement, that muscular action down into the lower regions here. So let's go ahead and place the hands on the lower abdominal muscles, so think below your belly button. And you can actually use your hands sort of like a pump to help you initiate the engagement of these muscles. We'll be breathing in and out through the nose in a slow but consistent pace. So let's take a nice deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, pull your lower abdominals in using your hands and draw them up. Then inhale, relax, exhale. So there's kind of this force of air out as you exhale through the nose. And continuing that pumping action here in a rhythm. Inhaling through the nose, exhale, pumping those lower abdominals in and up to the spine, squeezing the breath out. Good, let's continue that. You might even add in a little bit of pelvic floor here, so you're pumping those lower abdominals in and up towards the spine, pulling the pelvic floor in and up as you exhale. And you'll definitely want to kind of work this to the point that you start feeling some fatigue in those lower abdominal muscles. If you find that you're able to really control this movement well and isolate your lower abdominals well, really get those moving with control, then you can increase the pace a little bit. But know that quality is more important than the quantity. Form over function. Good. Now let's very slowly just start to breathe normally again. Whew, you may have noticed that that gets your internal heat going a little bit. Livens everything up. Let's go ahead and switch the cross of your legs. So opposite shin is in front. Take your fingertips out to the sides. And for these next several exercises, just allow yourself to breathe naturally and deeply in and out through your nose. As you inhale, stretch your arms all the way up over your head to lift tall through the spine. Exhale, bring your hands together, then down in front of your heart center. Nice. Inhale, stretch your arms wide out and all the way up over your head. Then as you exhale, slowly move the hands together down in front of your heart. And let's continue that, just moving with the breath, nice and slow as you inhale and reach up. Nice and slow as you exhale and join the hands. Good. You might even close your eyes for these next few rounds of this and just find the movement of the arms flows with your breath. And hopefully this is a time where you can start to slow your breathing down again. Lengthen your breathing out. One more round of that arm movement. Good. Exhale, hands down to heart. And then as you inhale, sweep your arms wide and all the way up over your head. And as you exhale, twist your left arm across your body to your outer right knee. Place your right fingertips down and back behind you. And then inhale, lift your chest up tall. And exhale, rotate your chest towards the right side of the room. Then inhale, come back to center, lifting your hands outward and upward over your head. And as you exhale, twist your right arm across your body, your left fingertips down and back. Inhale, lift up through your ribs. And exhale, twist your chest to the left. That's it. Inhale, come back through center, arms wide up high. Exhale, twist left arm over right, hand down and back. Inhale, stretch up through the spine. Exhale, rotate your chest to the right. Inhale, back to center, reach wide up high. Exhale, twist over and across. Inhale, lengthen up through the spine. And exhale, twist to the left. Good. Let's do that a few more times. Inhaling all the way up. Exhaling into your twist. Inhale, find length throughout the spine. And exhale, turn a little bit deeper into the twist. Inhale through center, stretching up tall through the ribs and hands and heart. Exhale, flowing into the twist. Inhale, get that long, tall spine. And exhale, gently go deeper. Nice. We'll do one more round of that with your breath. And then inhaling up through center, stretch your hands over your head, and as you exhale, pull your elbows down to the sides as you make fist with your hands. Good. Plug your shoulder blades back, lift your chest, and take 3 deep breaths. Hopefully feeling a little bit of engagement in the muscles in between your shoulder blades there. Soak in that last breath here. And then exhale and release. And from there, start to move forward to your hands and your knees. You can either clear your blanket off of your mat at this time, or you can place it underneath your knees for a little bit of extra cushion. We'll come into what's called a tabletop, so hands are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath your hips. And you'll want to have a really wide spread of your fingers here in this posture. Let's start to move with the breath. So as you inhale, lift your nose and your hips outward and upward. Good. And as you exhale, draw your belly into your spine and arch your back. Inhale, relax your belly as you lift your nose and your hips. Exhale, draw your belly in and up as you arch your back. Let's continue to move like that. So knowing that the abdominal muscles are actually a driving force in this posture, as we inhale, we learn the art of relaxing those muscles, and as we exhale, we learn the art of engaging those muscles. And to live a life in balance means that we have both strength and softness. You don't just want your abdominal muscles to be strong and engaged all the time. It's equally as important to be able to relax them, and we get to work on both of those actions here. Let's do 2 more of those, following the breath in and out. So the inhale lifts you out and up. The exhale draws you into that arched back, the cat position. One final inhale, opening it up. And then exhaling and arching it out. And as you inhale, come into more of a neutral spine. And from there, as you exhale, open your knees wide, touch your big toes together, and sink your hips back towards your heels into child's pose for a few breaths. Let your forehead rest. Breathing smooth and consistent all the while. Go ahead and lower your elbows down and your forearms down onto the mat. And as you inhale, lift your chest so that your shoulders come forward over your elbows. You might like to walk your hands a little further forward on the mat and start to bring your legs about hips distance apart or even closer and into an angled position back behind your hips. You're in what's called modified plank, but this time with your forearms down. Now you'll want to try to soften this part of your back right in between your shoulder blades. And then try to hug your shoulder blades together. So you make like a little dent right in between your shoulder blades. Now as you do this, you may find that your abdominal muscles soften. That's not ideal, so keep the abdominal muscles gripped and hugging into your spine for stability. Whew, and take in some deep breaths here. Good. Let a little bit of fire build up, a little bit of heat. Hang in for 2 more breaths if you can. If you need to come down sooner, it's as simple as relaxing your pelvis down onto the mat. We'll hang in for 1 more here. And at the very end of this next exhale, so after you complete it, gradually release your pelvis down to the mat. Nice. And we'll land in the Sphinx pose. Good. So your elbows are about shoulder distance apart here. Plug your shoulder blades onto your back and let your belly release for a moment. So bring in that element of softness. Know that this helps to work on shoulder stabilization. So building some tone in those upper arms and upper back. Soak in 1 more deep breath here. And as you exhale, buckle your elbows out so that your chest lowers towards the mat. Then slide your hands back near the sides of your chest and have your elbows near your ribs. So your hands are in like a cobra position so you can press up. As you inhale, push up to your hands and your knees. And then come back to tabletop with hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Good. And from here, finding your breath again if you've lost it. And on your next inhale, stretch your left heel back into the air behind you. Now if this is a little bit much, you can keep the toes tucked, but otherwise we'll lift your heel up so that it's in line with your bottom. And if you want a little more challenge, you can also stretch your right arm forward here, with your right thumb facing the ceiling. So your body should be one long line here, hand, shoulder, hip, and heel, all about the same height. Now as you take this next exhale, gradually lower your left knee and your right hand. Then as you inhale, stretch your right heel back and maybe your left arm forward. Good. Then exhale, gradually release down to the mat slowly. And alternating with your breath now, inhale left leg, possibly that right arm. And exhale, gradually lower down. Inhale, right leg, possibly left arm. Exhale, slowly lowering down. And then continuing to move just like that with a breath. And know that as you're practicing this posture, it's called the sunbird, you definitely want to have some abdominal bracing going on. So there's this quality of the belly hugging towards your spine. It gives you a lot of back support here and enables you to strengthen these important parts of your body. Know that this exercise is a wonderful way to help build spinal stability, which can even help with things like your balancing. Nice. Let's do 2 more of those with the breath. Trying to have your heel in line with your hip, in line with your shoulder, in line with your hand. So there's a tendency to want to lift that foot up too high. Don't let that happen. Keep this flat plane through your body. Nice. Now from here, start to sweep your ankles off to one side and let's land in a seated position. You may want to scoot forward just a little bit on your mat, and we'll have your feet down, your knees up, and your hands on the fronts of your knees. Feet should actually be touching here, so nice and close together. Plug your shoulder blades into your back so that your chest is open. And you'll want to find, just as she has here, a lean back in your upper body so that you feel, as the abdominal muscles catch a bit. Now this is ample challenge, especially when you have a long spine and your heart open. But if you're feeling pretty energetic and you're able to keep that posture to your spine, and you wanted to go a little bit further with that, then what you could do is gently free your hands up and just stretch your hands out alongside your legs. Good. We'll take in 2 more breaths here. Good. Keep those shoulder blades plugged into the back. Keep the heart open. 1 more inhale. And then slowly start to lower down to rest on your back. You could cradle your knees if you wanted to. Yoga mat. Nice. Make sure that your head is supported by the mat. So if you realize you need to scoot forward a little bit, now would be a great time to do that. And we'll eventually come into a position where the soles of the feet are down behind your hips, and your feet and knees are hips distance apart. You might want to do a little bit of kind of shimmying and adjusting to the back of the body to get everything settled and relaxed. And at this time, you'll grab hold of your block and place it in between your 2 knees. And it's going to be going lengthwise. Ideally, you have a pretty thick block, not one of those crazy thin ones, so you have the right amount of support between your knees. And know that as we move into this next series of postures, all bridge variations, that it's very breath specific. So you'll want to pay close attention to which muscles I encourage you to fire and how I encourage you to pair that with your breath, as this will help you to get the most out of this exercise. Let's open the arms out into a big T shape. And as we're doing this, I encourage you to try to keep your shoulders relaxed, your neck relaxed, and your jaw relaxed. So we're really trying to work abdominal muscles, right? Not your upper body here. Let's take a nice easy breath in. And then as you exhale, pull your belly in and down towards the mat as you squeeze your knees into the block. Then keep those engagements and inhale, lift your hips up from the mat. Maybe not as high as you normally would here. And exhale, keep those engagements and gently return your hips down to rest on the mat. Then take an inhale and relax. And as you begin to exhale, pull the belly in and down to the mat as you grip your knees into the block. Keep those engagements and inhale, slowly lift your hips up with control. And then exhale, pulling the abdominals in even further as you lower down to rest your hips on the mat. Then taking an inhale and relaxing completely. Exhale, drawing the belly in, squeeze the knees into the block. Keep those engagements as you inhale and lift your hips from the mat. Then exhale, seeing if you can even add pelvic floor, a little bit more belly engagement as you lower down to rest. Inhale, relaxing completely. Exhale, hugging the belly in, squeeze the block. Inhale, keep that engagement, lift your hips up. Exhale, gradually lower back down as you keep those engagements and maybe add a little bit more effort. Inhale, relax. Exhale, engage. Inhale, lift hips. Exhale without overdoing, maybe finding a little bit more as you lower down into the mat. Inhaling and releasing. Exhaling and engaging. Inhale, holding that engagement and lifting. Exhale, if it's not overdoing, to add a little bit more. Add a little more as you come down. Nice. We'll do one more of those. Inhale, relax. Exhale, engage. Inhale, lift hips. Exhale, lower down. Really nice work there. Now at this time, we'll remove the block and then slowly hook the soles of your feet together and let your knees buckle out and down. Hopefully that feels so nice for a moment in those abdominal muscles. Then start to cradle your hands underneath the back of your head with one palm on top of the other. As we're doing this next exercise, know that your hands are meant to support your head and your neck, so you shouldn't feel like you have to really tighten or contract the neck muscles so much. Your hands are there to help encourage them to move more easily. So we're going to start working particularly with more of the upper abdominal muscles in this exercise. Let's take a nice smooth inhale. And then as you exhale, gently curl your head, neck, and shoulders up so your nose moves towards your belly button. Inhale, slowly lower back down to the mat. And we'll do two more just like that. Exhale, slowly curl up through the middle. And inhale, gently lower back down. Good, and one more exactly like that. Exhale, slowly curl up through the middle. And inhale, gently lower back down. This time we're going to add a crossing element. So as you exhale, curl your right elbow up and over towards your outer left hip, and then inhale, slowly come back down. And then as you exhale, curl your left elbow over and up towards your outer right hip. And then inhale, gradually come to center and lower. Exhaling up through the middle this time. Inhale, gently lowering down. Coming back to that crossing action, exhale, right elbow towards outer left hip. Inhale, down. Exhale, left elbow towards outer right hip. And inhale through center and down. We're going to do one more round of that. Exhale, straight up through the middle. Beautiful. Inhale, gently releasing. Whew, this will get your heat going. Exhale, right elbow crosses over. Inhale and lower. Exhale, nice and slow. Don't rush it. I know it's tempting. Cross it over. Inhale, down. Beautiful. From there, let your legs stretch out. Let your arms stretch out for a little shavasana. You have earned it. So feel free to take up some space on your mat. Relax your whole body. Let all that effort that you've put into your practice just fall away. And let's come back to that really soft belly breath that we did at the very beginning of our practice today. So not engaging as we exhale, just relaxing. Inhale, let your belly expand and stretch. Exhale without engaging your belly. Simply let the breath pour out. Inhale, breathe into the belly and let it stretch. And exhale without engaging at all. Simply soften your belly and let the breath pour out of it. And do this 3 to 4 more times. Really encouraging the belly area to relax. To be soothed. Even to get to stretch out just a little bit here. Allowing yourself to come back to just a natural breath at this time. And if you had a little more time to relax, I would encourage you to take that. But for today's video's purpose, we're going to gradually draw the knees into the chest. Roll towards the right side and eventually up into a seated posture of your choosing. Allowing yourself to just sit nice and tall there. Hands together in front of your heart. And seeing if you can find the stability that comes from having a connection to your abdominal core. Noticing how that can support you here. How it can actually help you to improve your posture here and your ability to lift your ribs in space. Thank you for your time. Namaste.